Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater. And earlier today, Sony dropped the very first teaser trailer, I guess, for Bad Boys for Life, a movie that I've been waiting over 16 years to see. I'm not making that up. I'm waiting over 16 years to see this movie, and we get the final conclusion. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't quite know what to think about it. I'm not as hype as I thought I was, and I want to talk about why. So I thought we would go through a collection of screenshots from the trailer and talk about my thoughts on that. And the reason why I'm doing screenshots is Sony is notorious for content striking channels, so they don't tend to touch this, so we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, this movie is not directed by Michael Bay. It's directed by two guys who are clearly, with the trailer, attempting to channel Michael Bay. We have the opening shot here of Mike's Porsche, right? He had this in the first movie. He's clearly a rich guy. It's a great looking shot, totally reminiscent of Michael Bay. Will Smith exits the vehicle. Again, we got a little bit of that lens flare. The camera is moving, totally Michael Bay. It pans around the front of it. He gets out. It's nice. It's pristine. It's so beautiful. And then it cuts over here to the door being hit with the fire hydrant there. Again, real out of place. I know it's meant to kind of play up the comedy. It's meant to be an action comedy, but Martin Lawrence it just felt so out of place for the start of this thing. It really took me out of it. And then of course you got him going like, "Hey," and Martin Lawrence, fat Martin Lawrence, like, I mean, this was noticeable. This was noticeable and this was jarring. And I'm not trying to fat shame Martin Lawrence. I am a rotund American myself. But you figure for a movie that's been in gestation development for years, he would have lost some weight, unless that is going to be playing into overall the aspect of the character. Maybe like instead of being Fat Marcus, it's like Fat Thor. Who knows? It could be like Fat Thor. Anyway, again, the banter back and forth here, which I like, which looks like it's pretty fun. I think this takes place after a scene in the mall, which we show later on in the trailer. We get to see them here, a little bit more banter before they kick down a door and they bust in, and Mike's all like, "Hands up." And, Marcus is all, "No, no, let me talk to him. They try to penetrate his soul." And that does feel a little bit like Bad Boys, where Mike is clearly more of the dive in type, shoot first, ask questions later type. And Marcus is not. He wants to talk it out. But then he gets his ass handed to him. And there's a quip, and then Will Smith beats the crap out of the guy. And then we see this shot of them here at the bar. Again, it's a nice looking shot. I like the cinematography from the trailer, trying to very much pull on Michael Bay. But it's that whole conversation about retirement, one we knew was going to be coming. This is the third and final film in the franchise for this particular franchise. Bad Boys is going to be going to television, starring Gabrielle Union and Jessica Alba, of all things. Anyway, we see here that Joe, I forget the guy's name. He's back. He's returning. Captain Woodward, I think, or Willard or something. Still being the hard ass, still has the hair and the plugs, and that's going to be a joke. But talking about Will Smith shooting the place up, making it this big thing, and we got this shot here, which is so unbelievably Michael Bay. It's not even funny. But I did notice with this and a lot of the other shots, color plays a large part in this. A lot of color accentuates the scene. When Michael Bay's cinematography is always fascinating because the camera ultimately never stops moving. If you go and you watch like Transformers from '07, that is the peak Michael Bay experience because the camera never stops moving. Here, it kind of feels like they're going to end up doing the same thing. We see him here, again, look how rich he is showing off. He's got the nice jacket on. He's got the stacks. Was that a $5,000 stack of hundos right there? We got some guns and some bullets and whatnot. So obviously showcasing that Mike is wealthy, and that was a big part of Bad Boys 1 and Bad Boys 2. Here they're doing that last, like, all right, one more time, one last ride. And I'm pretty sure it's all leading up to Marcus's retirement. And at this point, I can't help but feel that Bad Boys 3 is just on par with Lethal Weapon 4. And that's not necessarily a good thing, to be fair. It's not terrible. I enjoy Lethal Weapon 4, but it feels so out of place. And maybe it's because Michael Bay isn't behind it, and maybe it's because it's also been 16 years since the last movie came out. Here's a shot of them at the mall. We can see Will Smith is wearing the same shirt as earlier. And this part made me laugh, though. where, he's all like, no, we're black and we're cops. We're going to pull ourselves over later. That was actually a pretty funny line. I did chuckle at that quite a bit. But again, everything to me looks really clean. It does. I mean, if you go back and you watch the first Bad Boys and the second, you could tell it was shot on film. It was a little grittier, trying to play up the gritty, hot aspect of Miami. Here, this is playing up like the neon signs of Miami, and it just feels different. It just feels different to me. Again, a signature Michael Bay shot, but just look how clean the image is. It's so clean. The whole thing is super clean. It looks like there's going to be a lot of action. There's a lot of action shots in the trailer. I wasn't able to get good screenshots that were going to be able to be visible. Otherwise, it happens so fast, but hopefully in future trailers, some more stuff here. We got a good shot of Martin Lawrence. Again, fat Martin Lawrence. But he's firing off a shotgun. Got that look in his face like he's either going to kill somebody or crap his pants. It looks pretty good. We have the shot here of Will Smith jumping off of a truck onto a helicopter after his bike. That's what causes the explosion, I think, is his bike hits into the back of that thing. He flies into it. Again, no injuries. We're entering Fast and Furious level here, right? Where these guys that are clearly in their 50s are going to be able to do these insane stunts without it actually harming their body or having any long-lasting repercussions. And when you start taking out that level of when that level of realism starts going away, it does get a little bit ridiculous. Fast and Furious plays it off by an over-the-top plot, but both Bad Boys movies were played straight, right? Played like straight action films, like Tony Scott era films is how I took that. This one doesn't feel like that. And then at the end of the trailer, we got a bunch of other people singing Bad Boys Terribly, and this is kind of funny because they're both like, no, 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 you ain't doing this. This ain't happening. You're never doing this again. And of course, Martin Lawrence is like, no, and you're all messing up the lyrics. They're the hardest part. So the two jokes that are in this, and then look at this shot here. This is like the last shot I pulled off. This is them on a motorcycle with what appears to be a chain gun in the sidecar in Miami. Notice the colors, the blue on them, the purple around, the pink around, everything else like that. You can see that they're playing up, again, that nighttime Miami heat light. You know what I mean? So this is, I don't even know what the hell this is, but why he's got a machine gun in a sidecar of a motorcycle. Again, this kind of thing feels so over the top, but some could argue that even in Bad Boys 2, when they were driving the Hummer through the favelas or the slums of Cuba, and getting to Guantanamo and all that stuff at the end of that movie, that could be also perhaps seen as being a little over the top, but this feels insanely over the top and not necessarily in a good way. That being said, look, I'm still excited to see this movie. I still want to check it out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've always enjoyed the Bad Boys films. I've been looking forward to this one for a long time. It does feel like without Michael Bay's influence, that is obviously going to be an issue. You can tell that it's not Michael Bay, and I would have preferred Bay to come back and do this. I know scheduling conflicts were a factor. I know that was a big thing, but unfortunately, we just didn't get it. Anyway, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinions. Let me know down in the comments below, or head on over to facebook.com/groups/3Buck Theater. You guys can also call into my live show tonight, Hollywood After Dark, 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on this channel for right now. It will probably be moving here in a couple days, so keep an ear out for that. Or if you really want to support the channel, if you really like my work, head on over to patreon.com/Matt Jarbo and join up. It helps out because YouTube is, the rest of the year is going to be pretty bad. If you followed any of YouTube news recently, it's not looking good. Anyway, I do appreciate your thought, your time, your discussions, and just you in general. Please give the video a thumbs up. Share it around if you want. Come and talk to me live, and have yourself a great day, guys. And peace out.